Today we're going to be talking about why buying a pre-leased investment personal warehouse unit is one of the best commercial real estate investments you can make and the 7 reasons why that is. So what is a personal warehouse? If you take a look at my background, I'm sitting in one right now. A personal warehouse is a small micro flex space designed for a variety of small businesses and storage users. We also typically get a lot of car collectors. They generally range from about 1,000 to 3,000 square feet. I'm standing in a smaller one right now. This is about 1,000 square foot unit. They are for sale or for lease. One really unique thing that we do with our product is all units are available for sale or lease. What that means for us as the developer is when we do lease a unit, we're not looking to maintain it. So I will sell what we call pre-leased investment units. These are units just like the one I'm sitting in, but they generally have a tenant in place for a term of 3 to 5 years. The tenancy has already begun, so you don't have to do any work of finding your own tenant. They've got personal guarantees included. We have aggressive lease rates, which are in a triple net structure, so it makes you have a little bit more of a passive income, and they're done and ready for you to go. Hi, I'm Kira Graven with Personal Warehouse. I live in Georgia and I work with all of our personal warehouse owners and tenants in our Alpharetta and Buford locations. Across our different projects, I would say the vast majority of units are owned by an owner-occupied user. So either that small business, either that vehicle collector owns and uses the unit. But we do have all of our units available for lease as well. And for some businesses, for some users, it just is not the right time to buy. When we do have units set up for lease, the incredible thing is we will then market and sell them to investors to own as an investment project. So they're pretty unique in the commercial real estate world, but we've got them set up at a really, I would say, enticing offer for investor users that truly does benefit the tenants as well as the owners of those spaces. So when we lease out spaces and then sell them to investors to maintain, the really cool thing about these spaces is if you're an investor coming in, the day that you own your space and close on the unit, you're already cash flowing. You already have a tenant in place. They are already paying you rent. They're paying for taxes. So it's a pretty unique purchase just in the way that you can buy and all of the work is already done. The first reason why pre-leased investment units are some of the best investments you can make in the commercial real estate world is because business owners are your tenants. In the investment world, it can really pay to have a business owner as your tenant in comparison to, the multifamily or other investment routes, just because of the way that they are using their space, the reliability of the funds. A lot of these people have been in business and running these companies for many years. Their uses are focused and tailored around having clientele, employees come to their unit and show off an incredible product. It's a little bit different than if you've got someone living in a space and you have a lot different concerns when a business owner is your tenant. I've worked with a lot of investors and brokers who are well versed in some of the residential investments. And all day long, I hear horror stories about the way the property is treated. I hear about the noise complaints, the middle of the night 911 calls at 1 a.m. and just kind of the maintenance. When one tenant moves out and they've got to clean up an apartment that might not have been treated very well for the next person to move into, to live in. It can be a large undertaking for a lot of investors. In a personal warehouse unit, if you are an investor and you have a tenant in your space and they're a business owner, it's a much different demographic. Even just moving out one tenant and preparing for the next tenant, your cleanup is going to be getting a leaf blower in here, maybe clearing out the dust, run a mop through it, and you'll call it a day. I think that the way that the unit is handled is a lot different as well. A lot of these businesses, these units are a storefront. They have high-end clientele coming by to get a feel of their product and they want to put their best foot forward. So I would say that during working hours, these places look incredible. You want to come spend time here. You want people to really get a feel for how this project looks in all its glory. The second reason why owning a pre-leased investment unit is an incredible option in the commercial real estate world is because it allows for portfolio diversification. You're not going to be jumping in with a $3 million sale like other commercial real estate investments. So this is a really new way for you to start building and compounding to commercial real estate. It's very often that I work with brokers or buyers that have some interest and some experience with investment projects, typically in a different vein, but are hoping to breach into that commercial real estate world. And this proves to be a really wonderful opportunity for that. Part of this diversification is it is a completely brand new asset class. Many people have not even heard or dealt very much with such a niche product like a personal warehouse. You might have investments in land, you might have more residential investments, but the incredible thing about this product is that it is very unique. With that, there is a high demand. You can't find something like this in many other locations. So you've got a really great options for future tenants. Another really unique thing is a lot of our tenants actually have the intent of buying down the road. So in some investment units, you might hold on to it for a couple of years, and when you're getting ready to sell, you might have the ease of just selling it to the business owner that's been utilizing that space for a number of years. It's a very unique way to invest your money. In terms of diversifying your investment portfolio, getting your foot in the door for commercial real estate can be hard for a number of levels. Cool thing about these personal warehouses is you can get a foot through the door, you can jump in with an already cash flowing unit and start to build a lot of that equity. The third reason why owning a pre-leased investment unit is a great option in the commercial real estate world is triple net leases. Let me tell you a little bit about our triple net structure, what it means, and why it can benefit you as an investor. In a triple net lease, your tenant is going to be paying you base rental. They're going to be paying you the monthly CAM, or what we call common area maintenance fees. They're also going to be paying taxes and all of their own utilities. So let me explain a little bit more about what that boils down to. In our lease structures, those common area maintenance fees typically are a couple $100s a month. Generally, that's an owner expense. But on these triple net leases, your tenant is going to be paying those monthly fees. This is going to be covering, in some projects, your trash, your water, all of the condo dues associated, any ground lease fees, kind of bundles up a large portion of all property fees. They're also paying you estimated taxes on a monthly basis. And if there are any additional utilities that weren't covered in that condo fees, they're going to be paying their water bills, all of their Wi-Fi bills, their insurance. So generally, these are very aggressive leases for tenants to be paying. They're paying aggressive lease rates on their base rental. Generally, depending on how you structure a mortgage or a cash payment to own the unit, that rental can pay a significant part of that, and you're not going to be having to pay any other dues. They're very low maintenance investments. The fourth reason why owning a pre-leased investment unit is a great asset in the commercial real estate world is that we are developed on a condominium style structure. Let me tell you a little bit why that can be a huge benefit to you as an investor. Condominium, by definition, is the ownership of the airspace within a unit. So, where I'm sitting right now in this lovely model, if I were to own this unit, I would only own the airspace of the unit. I wouldn't necessarily own the ground that I'm sitting on or anything external. It can mean a lot of different things. First off would be monthly dues. Talk a little bit in my triple net spiel about why we have monthly payments and what that goes towards, as well as in a pre-leased unit that your tenant is covering those dues. What that also means is it takes some of the responsibility off of you as an investor. Let's say you've got a tenant in place, you are an owner, and when it comes to our condominium style structure, we have rules and regulations for the project and for our community. We like to have a no noxious use clause. What that means is we don't allow users that are noisy, that are smelly, if they're a hindrance to the other community members. We want everyone to live in peace over here. But what that means for you as an investor with a tenant in your space is you've got a little bit of backup from a rules and regulations standpoint if your tenant has or starts any problems. If there is an issue with a neighbor, if there are struggles, there are written rules and ways to address issues within the community. We also have a really great third-party property management group that assists with nearly all of our developments. The reason that we do that is we are a very niche product with a lot of really unique owners and users. So it's important to have a group that truly knows what these business owners need to succeed, what their neighbors need to succeed, what the car collector down the street needs to succeed, and kind of make everyone work together in these communities well. So we've got some rules and regulations around parking, around noise, around use, just to ensure that the community is in good standing, that it allows and preserves resale value. I know that you as an investor, when you're ready to sell in a couple of years or move in yourself in a couple of years, you want to have a strong community that looks well, that you'll be able to get full value rates on. And we've seen these projects grow and grow from years and years to how to make that a great resale advantage. Being in a condominium style unit, it's going to take a lot of pressure off of you as the owner. You're going to have condominium rules and regulations that keep everyone in check. You're not going to have to worry about your neighbor, about clearing snow, about handling some unknown factors. A lot of that is going to be on the condominium association, on their management and regulation of these properties. Helps with resale, it helps with the community feel, and it makes your income a lot more passive. You're not going to be there on a day-to-day checking things, fixing things, going through the same hassles as a lot of other investments. Instead, you can sit back, collect your monthly rent, and prepare for the next tenant or the next sale. The fifth reason why a pre-leased unit makes for a great commercial real estate asset is because we've got longer lease rates than you see on the residential side of things, and we've got built-in rent escalators to keep up with inflation and other future factors. In a lot of residential investment opportunities, you're looking at lease terms that are on a monthly basis. You might have a couple of months, you might have a year, and a maximum you might see a 2-year lease. Here at Personal Warehouse, working with the types of businesses and the types of users that we have in these projects, we generally see a 3 to a 5-year lease term. It's typically a really great number for the tenants to be able to build and grow their business, and it takes some pressure off of you as a landlord to only need to find the next tenant in years worth of time rather than months. We also do a really great job of rent escalators. We do this for a factor of reasons. The first being inflation. We want to make sure that you as an investor can keep up with changing rates and are prepared for rates to change. Tenants typically have 3% escalators on a yearly basis on their leases, which is aggressive for a tenant, but will definitely aid you as a landlord. The other reason that we do these rent escalators is to build up for future rent options. So let's say 3 years time, your tenant's moving out, you're looking for your next tenant. You've got a higher lease rate to be able to quote, to be able to move with. We like to keep things kind of ahead of what's standard so we can prepare you best for your investment and your future investments. Even in the commercial world, you might see significantly longer lease rates than what we have at Personal Warehouse. You can see 10, 15 years, which may be fine for some users. If you're buying out a Walmart, it's typically a different case scenario than what you're looking for here at Personal Warehouse. I am a firm believer that the 3 to 5 year lease rates, it's the sweet spot. You're looking for businesses that are going to develop significantly in the next couple of years. The other great thing about not signing a 10-year term is you've got a lot more flexibility. You've got flexibility in 3 years to adjust your rates, to make sure that your tenant is happy, that you're happy, and if not, to find a new tenant. So there's a lot more flexibility in kind of that middle range lease rate that if you go the standard commercial route, you might not have that same flexibility. A standard residential investment has a very short-term lease, which doesn't give you a lot of stability. And your standard commercial investment has a very long lease, which doesn't give you the flexibility to adjust rates and users. That's why we here at Personal Warehouse really value that middle ground, the medium 3 to 5 year length lease terms. That way you've got the stability and you've got the flexibility to amend things as a landlord. It's our sweet spot. The sixth reason why a pre-leased investment unit is a great asset in the commercial real estate world is because it's a great option for 1031 exchanges. Let me tell you a little bit about what a 1031 exchange is and why it could be of benefit to you as a landlord. A 1031 exchange allows you to defer capital gains taxes by rolling the proceeds into another qualifying property. Let me tell you a little bit about what this means. If you currently have some sort of asset or investment, in some cases you can 1031 the proceeds of that sale of the asset and funnel it into another asset without paying those capital gains that are going to take a chunk out of your profit. So in a lot of cases, we work with a lot of 1031 users who are in the process of selling their asset and want to find a similar qualifying project that they can put their money into. Personal Warehouse is a great asset option, first off, because of our list rates. We kind of have that middle ground of purchase prices where you're not spending millions of dollars. You might not always be cutting into those savings or other avenues, but it's still a very well-priced asset that your money is going to be held at a high rate. Some smaller dollar 1031 placements can be really hard to find in the residential or even in the commercial real estate world. It's difficult to find that middle ground of the price point you're looking for and the type of asset you want to put your money into. 1031 assets in the commercial real estate world are typically hard to find at a smaller dollar price point. Here at Personal Warehouse, we've got a lot more options for that price point. The seventh reason why a pre-leased investment unit is a great asset in the commercial real estate world is our financing options available to you. A lot of the financing options we see for investment users here at Personal Warehouse are pretty comparable to your typical home mortgage. We generally see about 30 to 40% down, something that you generally can't see in other commercial real estate avenues. So that's pretty unique. We work with a lot of banks that have met many of our owners that have worked with us on past projects. So we can always assist with those introductions and finding you an option that's truly going to suit you, your money, or your 1031 exchange. The other really cool thing about when you're financing for a pre-leased investment unit is working with these banks and them understanding that these units are already cash flowing. When you purchase this unit, you've already got a tenant set up for a 3 to 5 year term. You've got personal guarantees from tenants. You've got rent escalators, and you've got money coming into the bank. It's a great appeal for a lot of commercial banks to be able to give you a more competitive loan. If you're looking to dip your toes in the water and begin investing Or if you're looking to diversify your investment portfolio into the commercial real estate world, personal warehouse might be a good fit for you. We have pre-leased units that have tenants in place that are ready for you to buy and have passive, as close to passive income as you can get, with tenants paying triple net leases and you sitting back and waiting for the next tenant. We might have a good option for you. If this is something that you'd be interested in exploring more, we've got pre-leased investment units ready to go for you. We've got a couple in Georgia and Colorado and across a few states. You're welcome to check out our website to see where we are right now, or feel free to give me a call and I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about some options that might suit you, your budget, or the type of tenant that you're looking for. For some of my favorite personal pre-leased investment units, we do actually have a couple of incentives that are running right now. Some of these include things like prepaid CAMs. At closing, we will pay the condo owner association for a term of CAMs, so that when your tenants are paying you on a monthly basis their CAMs, it boosts your income and your cap rate. Typically, we only run these offers for a short period of time, so if this is something that you'd be interested in, or if you'd like to explore some routes for investing here with Personal Warehouse, I'd love to talk to you a little bit more. In most of our projects, the vast majority of units are owner occupied. We generally don't get a lot of leases, and we do push sales a lot more than we push leases. That being said, we do have a couple of investment units available. They tend to go pretty fast, and we have a group of investors that tend to follow us from project to project. So if this is something that you'd be interested in exploring more, I'd love to have a call while we still have a couple of units left. Real estate in general can be pretty volatile. What's pretty unique about our company is we've maintained a lot of different personal warehouse projects through our 25 years of this company. I think that we see a general average of about a 6% annual appreciation across the portfolio of our projects, which is definitely very unique in real estate. One interesting thing that I come to find with a lot of our investors who do own pre-leased units is that while they have a tenant in place, they are making cash flow on their space. They're not paying their CAMs or other monthly miscellaneous dues, and they're making money on that unit. Especially at the beginning stages of project construction, when we're still in the sellout process of a project, we do raise prices of the purchase price very aggressively. In some projects, it's $10 to $15 a square foot every couple of weeks, months, kind of depending on the sellout stage of that project. Generally, the earlier you get in, as you start making that cash flow on that investment, and then down the road, if you do choose to sell, we've seen a lot of investors make $1 or $2